Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about what the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said on the floor of the Senate in the past 24 hours. And he said some things that were extremely interesting. But before I get to that, I'll highlight some comments made by former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang. He's an interesting character. He's a rather fun guy. And I'll actually show you some interesting things he said to an audience in Georgia. In fact, he and his family are actually moving to Georgia. So what the former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang said is that he's moving to Georgia to try and flip the 2 Senate seats in Georgia in favor of the Democrats. And I've covered this earlier on our channel. The 2 Senate runoff seats in Georgia are extremely crucial because they will determine the balance of power in the United States Senate. In fact, this is so important that I'll show you a quote on your screen right now from a political strategist, Brian Robinson. Brian said, "This is no run-of-the-mill runoff. The fate of the nation's balance of power is on the table here." Now, keep in mind, I have done another video where I've talked about the fact that almost $500 million, that's $500 million, are going to be spent, projected to be spent in Georgia on ads. Television ad spending alone has reached close to $200 million at the time I'm recording this video. So this is very, very important for the control of the Senate and for all the lobbyists and for all the politicians that are involved in these Senate runoff races. So keep in mind that what we have going on right now, according to Brian Robinson, is what we have seen traditionally in Georgia, that Republicans are much more reliable runoff voters than Democrats are. The Republicans have a pretty long string of unbroken wins in statewide runoffs. They want to make sure Democrats don't control every level of power in Washington. That's a very powerful motivator. Democrats are fat and happy because they have got what they want in Washington. So just so that our viewers and subscribers know, in the runoffs in the state of Georgia that are going to take place on the 5th of January, the Republican incumbent, Senator David Perdue, and the Democratic challenger Jon Ossoff will face off against each other. And Senator Kelly Loeffler and Democrat newcomer Senator Raphael Warnock will also square off as the last 2 standing in the Georgia Senate special election. So on your screen, you'll see a tweet from Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang originally wrote on the 6th of November, "The best thing we could do for Joe," meaning President-elect Joe Biden, "is to get him a Democratic Senate. There should be coordination of resources. Everyone who campaigned for Joe should be ready to head to Georgia. I'll go. It's the only way to sideline Mitch and give Joe a unified government." Wow. Pretty strong commitment from Andrew Yang to make sure that the Senate swings towards the Democrats. He also wrote in another tweet on the 7th of November, "Great news." And he wrote, Evelyn is his wife, "Evelyn and I are moving to Georgia to help Jon Ossoff and Reverend Warnock win. This is our only chance to clear Mitch out of the way and help Joe and Kamala get things done in the next 4 years. More details to come, but let's go." Pretty interesting stuff. And I want our viewers and subscribers to know that if the Republicans retain control of the Senate, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, there he is. Hello, Leader McConnell. He's going to remain the Senate Majority Leader. But if the Democrats win both Senate runoff seats in Georgia, it's going to be 50 seats for the Democrats, 50 seats for the Republicans. But guess what? Because the vice president who has a tiebreaker vote is a Democrat, Kamala Harris, at that time, what's going to happen is that Democrats will now have the Senate majority. And then the Senate Majority Leader will not be Mitch McConnell. It's likely that the Senate Majority Leader will be, can you guess? Chuck Schumer. Imagine Chuck Schumer as a Senate Majority Leader. Imagine House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So the House led by Democrats, Chuck Schumer will be the Democrat Senate Majority Leader. And then right at the top, we have President-elect Joe Biden right now, who is projected to be the President of the United States after the 20th of January. It'll be an all-Democrat control of government. This is why Andrew Yang says the stakes are so high. In fact, let's listen to what Andrew had to say. Andrew also took a shot at the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and said that if Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has the keys to the car being the US Senate, guess what happens? Nothing happens. Let's take a look at what Andrew had to say.
Hello, Georgia, how are you? Let's give another round of applause to the next senator from Georgia, Reverend Raphael Warnock. Let's give it up. Wow, is he going to make an outstanding leader in Washington? He's exactly what we've been waiting for. I also want to thank my incredible wife, Evelyn, who's right there with one of our boys. Thank you, Evelyn, for everything. That was awful for Evelyn. Let's do a little bit better. tremendous to be here with you all. The future of the country rests on what happens on January 5th and all of the votes that come out from December 14th when early voting starts till Election Day. And it's up to us to get the word out about how important this race is. A lot of folks voted in November and they think, okay, that was the election, it's over. But it's not over. Here in Georgia, the balance of power in the Senate is going to be determined by you, by us. And we've seen what happens when Mitch McConnell has the keys to the car that is the U.S. Senate. What happens? Absolutely nothing. That's right. Mitch McConnell just has that car aimed at a ditch. And he just like sits there revving the engine as it goes nowhere. We've seen that. You remember this movie? This movie was the Obama administration down the stretch. Do we want Joe Biden's administration to have the same situation? No, heck no. We're in the midst of an historic crisis. The reason why I am here is because I know we need an invigorated, activated government to actually help get us out of this hole we're in. That will not happen if Mitch McConnell has the keys. But you know who's going to take the keys away from him? You are, we are, and we're going to hand the keys to Reverend Warnock, to John Ossoff. It is all on us. I know many of you found out about me when I was running for president, and many of you are Asian. So you're there on the TV, you were like, wait, what's going on? We're running for president now? And I know what you thought at that time. You were like, please let this guy not embarrass us. No, it's cool, I'm one of you. I would have thought the same thing. I would have been like, please let this guy not be terrible. And so then you tuned in and you were like, not terrible yet. You know? Matter of fact, he's all right. I might even like this guy. And then you waited for someone else to say, you know, he's not bad. And you're like, yeah, I do like this guy. Don't worry, again, I'm one of you. I grew up in an Asian household, the first generation born in this country. And you know what we did not talk about at the kitchen table in the Yang household? Politics, that's right. It is not a very Asian American thing to talk about. What did we talk about? Rage, that's right. At least that's what was going on in the Yang household. So I was told, get good grades, get a good job, and try and establish a foothold for your family, my hypothetical family, because obviously I did not know Evelyn at this time.
So that was Andrew Yang. By the way, I identify with that, talking about grades all the time. Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be an engineer? All the constant pressure from parents. I identify with that. Here's another tweet on your screen from Andrew Yang, who wrote, we will be getting organized. But in the meantime, if you have a room available in Georgia for volunteers, post it here. We are going to fight it out in Georgia. Much more to come. So you can see that Andrew Yang is completely committed, relocating to Georgia with his family. There's a lot at stake in the Senate runoff races in Georgia. Speaking of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell spoke yesterday on the floor of the Senate about the need for more stimulus. He talked about what he called the obstructionist policies of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and of the Democrats. He talked about what the future of the economy looked like, what was necessary, what the Republicans had proposed, what the Democrats wanted. In fact, he said Speaker Pelosi gambled with the health and welfare of the American people all summer. That is what he said. Pretty interesting comments from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the floor of the Senate yesterday about stimulus. We'll watch this entire segment and then I'll give you my analysis shortly afterwards. Let's roll the tape and see what the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say on the floor of the Senate in the past 24 hours.
We want the small businesses that have already hung on for most of the year to survive a few more months. We need a second round of the job-saving Paycheck Protection Program for the workers at the hardest hit establishments. Some major parts of the historic CARES Act have already run dry. Many others are set to expire at year's end. We Republicans have spent months trying to renew important help and provide more. We tried to send more than $100 billion to help schools welcome students and teachers safely to the classroom. We tried to implement common sense legal protections that universities and charities have been clamoring for. We've tried to pass all of this over and over again. But Speaker Pelosi and the Senate Democratic leader have blocked it. They've been very transparent about all this with their political strategies, laid it right out there. Speaker of the House spent the entire summer and the entire autumn literally gambling with the health and welfare of the American people. She gambled that if American families didn't get any more relief before the election, her party would expand its majority in the House and Democrats could continue demanding the right to remake all of society along far left lines in exchange for passing any more COVID relief whatsoever. But their all-or-nothing obstruction backfired. Democrats did not pick up seats in the House, but instead appear to have lost seats. They have not gained any leverage. Instead, they have lost leverage. And in the meantime, with the coronavirus surging from coast to coast, the American people have gone entirely without any additional aid, even the least controversial, most bipartisan programs, because the Democrats say no. Here's a summary from one news outlet. Quote, Pelosi seems to have overplayed her hand as she held out for $2 trillion plus right up until the election. The results of the election, which saw Democrats lose seats in the House, appear to have significantly undercut her position.
And in another segment, the Senate Majority Leader said that it's important to get something done now, except half a loaf of bread instead of wanting the whole loaf. Pretty interesting way to say, hey, let's get a smaller targeted stimulus done now. Don't wait. Don't hold out for something large, which may never happen. Accept half a loaf now. What does somebody do when they're starving? Do they say, no, I want the whole loaf of bread? Or do they say, hey, accept half a loaf? And by the way, I find this entire conversation kind of ironic because we're supposed to be living in the richest country in the world. We're supposed to have the government which is supposed to look out for people. And I think the right thing to do is to help those who need it the most. I've talked about this elsewhere on our channel. Individuals in travel, entertainment, leisure, and hospitality have been impacted the most. The most vulnerable amongst us need that help right now. But the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said, accept half a loaf of bread. And he did say that there were many senators from both sides of the aisle now trying to push for some stimulus to happen because the time to wait is over. The election is behind us. There's no need to play political games, ideological games anymore. I also did a video earlier on our channel where I talked about a bipartisan group of senators, influential senators, proposing a $908 billion stimulus bill. I talked about what's included in that bill: $300 a week unemployment benefits, money for the Paycheck Protection Program, money for testing, tracing, and treatment, money for state and local governments. But what's not included is a $1,200 stimulus check. So definitely check out that video on our channel that was actually released earlier today. So check that out and let us know what you think. But now let's take a look at the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who said, get something done now, except half a loaf right now, meaning smaller stimulus. Let's roll the tape, and I want to know what my viewers and subscribers think.
By now, it's abundantly clear to everyone that the Speaker will not be getting to fundamentally transform American society in a socialist direction in exchange for more bipartisan relief. The hostage taking was never going to work. And there's only one remaining question for the Speaker and the Democratic leader, just one question. One question, Mr. President. Will they finally let Congress pass hundreds of billions of dollars of relief on all the subjects where we agree? Or will they continue to insist that either they get their entire ideological wish list or the American people get nothing at all? Even their fellow Democrats are increasingly seeing this as not a terribly difficult question to answer. For example, over the weekend, Professor Austin Goolsbee, who chaired the Council of Economic Advisors under President Obama, called on Democrats to finally play ball. Quote, here's what he said. There are a lot of people really hurting. I hope Congress can agree on something soon. If they have to accept half a loaf, then they have to accept half a loaf. Speaker Pelosi's number two, the House Democratic Majority Leader, feels the same way. Quote, I just hope that we can get agreement. It may not be everything that everybody wants, but at least some significant relief to people. Our distinguished Senate colleague from Illinois, the Democratic whip, said the same thing. Quote, get something done that is significant. Do what we can achieve now. Here's a headline from Newsweek. Democrats urge Pelosi to accept smaller stimulus package to ensure relief by the end of the year. Even the Speaker's own Democratic members are now openly campaigning for our Republican approach. Here's one of the Democratic congressmen who nearly lost his reelection after Speaker Pelosi's stonewalling. Quote, we absolutely have to get something done. Mitch McConnell is talking about a bill we can actually pass. We should negotiate that to the finish. That's a House Democrat saying if the Senate Republican proposal is the template that can pass. Rank and file Democrats in both chambers are telling Speaker Pelosi and the Democratic leader to stop stonewalling and move forward with the approach Republicans have been urging for months.
That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to our SMS alerts list moving forward. Now, if you want, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. You'll get breaking news, you'll get alerts. If I release any training programs, you'll get information about those as well. You can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any point in time that you want. No worries about that. Now, keep in mind, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time when we release new content. All you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you can visit the homepage of our channel, and then you can watch our videos at any point in time that you want. You're not dependent on notifications from YouTube. Speaking on notifications, if you want to follow us on Instagram, follow us at ignition_time. That's our handle, ignition_time on Instagram, and you'll get exclusive news and content on Instagram. Speaking of exclusive news and content, you can get breaking news alerts from us on Twitter. Simply follow us at ignition_time on Twitter as well, and you'll get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter, so make sure you do that. As always, if you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please ignite that subscribe button. Please ignite that notification button, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Please share this video with friends and family if you learn something new, because our goal is to give you honest news, true news. We're not going to give you any false hope or hype on this channel. This is not a one-dimensional channel. This is a channel about the country, about the economy, and about money. This is not just a channel on stimulus news and unemployment benefits. This channel will help you get to the next level, because I have big goals, big aspirations for my viewers, for my subscribers, and for the community. You'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below, so you can verify any of the content. You can check out the content on your own at any point in time that you want. And please comment below, engage with our community. Our community is bipartisan, it's respectful, it's intelligent. You might make some new friends in our community. So make sure you engage in a healthy debate, a healthy, respectful debate in our community. Thank you so much for watching. One last time, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.